What is your got caught masturbating story? Does fake masturbating count? I was in boarding school and we weren't allowed to have computers or electronics. I was in my bed playing with my PSP when one of the supervisors comes and I panic and hide my PSP under the covers and he didn't see it. He comes over to me, already suspicious, and asks me, "What are you doing?" I didn't want to lose my PSP, so said masturbating, and he believed me. PSP saved. The lesser of two evils. Caught after the fact. I was in my early teens when I discovered the joy jacking off. Then my mind was truly blown when I discovered I could beat it up in the shower. After the first week or so of just carelessly painting the walls of the shower with my baby batter, my dad comes into my room and says, "If you're going to blow your nose in the shower, make sure it goes down the drain." I scratched my head and with a confused look I responded, "I don't blow my nose in the shower." To which my dad responded, "Just make sure it goes down the drain." My dad once told me, "Make sure to clean the shower, I don't want to be stepping on my grandchildren." I need more of these smug dad bars. For real. When I was about 11 I technically got caught mashing my meat to SpongeBob. Back then I'd jerk off to those top celebrity beach body compilations on VH1 or whatever. But they had commercials, and I wasn't hanging around for that. So I'd switch to another channel during the breaks, but sort of keep things going. Anyway, the result of this was that my older brother walked in on me, and I had just switched to Nickelodeon. I'll never forget him saying to SpongeBob? And leaving the room dying of laughter. Absorbent and yellow and porous is Lol Chandler watching Sharks all over again. Okay, so this was in university, so I wasn't new to jerking it by any means. But I was taking a class called apiculture, which is the study of bees and pollinators. Anyway, one afternoon I am going at it by myself in my room at the place I was renting. It's a older house, so the doors had no locks. My roommate knocks on my door right around the time I was almost done my task and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I just say, "Reading my bee book." Then he just opens the door and I'm standing up facing my computer with my junk in my hand just giving her. I yell, "Get out, I'm reading my bee book." He slams the door and walks away. From then on the slang term was reading my bee book. These flowers aren't gonna jizz on themselves. When I was young, I was curious about tits, so I opened MSN search and searched boobs. A message comes up saying the search was blocked, so I decided that this meant I was going to get arrested. In tears, I told my parents what I'd done, but to save myself from embarrassment I pretended I just misspelled Pokemon. Yeah, in hindsight they probably didn't believe me. It's sad how much easier mistyping books would have been to sell them. I feel like doing some reading. Let me search the internet for large firm perky books that I can read. Stop it, you're making me hardcover. I actually had a legitimate mix-up because I remember looking for a new baseball bat and searching Dick's as in the chain store Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's just say it technically worked because I saw a lot of baseball bats, but my dad was confused. Legit, don't why you carry on with the brand name Dick's after the internet. When I lived in North Carolina we had a Dick's Sporting Goods next to a BJ's wholesale club, like Sam's or Costco I was told, so you had a big sign that said Dick's next to a sign that said BJ's. There's a Dick's and a BJ's brewhouse in the same lot at the local mall. Whimpers mom, Dad. I think I'm getting arrested. It spells BOOBS, but I swear I meant to spell Pokemon. Lawyer, Your Honor. It's true that my client spelled boobs on the computer. But, I contend, and the evidence will show, that he had meant to spell Pokemon. Arresting officer, I object. Our anti-boobs firewall software clearly detected and blocked the attempted looking at of boobs. Your Honor, under Penal Code 80,085, previously 58,008, Section 00, Subsection 8, the accused clearly intended to observe boobs. Judge, I agree. Send him to prison until he can name all Pokemon and correctly spell each one. Bangs gavel. Not me, but a good one nonetheless. My wife told me her best friend wanted to invite everyone over to her new pool. We pack up the kids and head over where there are about 5 to 6 couples and about a dozen kids or so. The husband of said friend stated to everyone that unfortunately he had to leave a little early as he was on call, utility guy, and was going in to shower. In about 10 minutes or so, the lovely summer vibe music over the Bluetooth speaker turned to something more, aggressive. It was essentially the sounds of slapping, sucking and potty talk. That's the first thing that someone said because kids, and then my wife's friend bolted towards the house to end the noises that all kids and flotation devices were asking, "What is that?" So in summary, he does not get to select the music anymore for parties. The old watching porn with your phone and not realizing your Bluetooth is connected to speaker problem. Then you like, why can't I hear anything? Try and turn it up louder. Searched Heidi Klum nude. Heidi Klum tits. Heidi Klum boobs. Heidi Klum naked. On my aunt's computer when I was babysitting younger cousins. They printed it out and we had a uncle, aunt, mom, dad and 12 years/Omi meeting to go over the search history and the dangers of pornography. There were way more searches than that, but those are the ones I remember. Love you, Heidi. My nieces were doing voice-to-text searches when they were 7 or 8. They looked up deer butthole and fish butthole. They said they didn't know what they looked like and wanted to know. I can understand fish butthole. I can understand fish butthole sounds like the worst thing to put on your resume. Oh boy, I got a good one. So in NJ you had to pass this test called the HSPA in order to graduate HS. So during 9th and 10th grade you took a practice version. I took my practice freshman year and we didn't get the grades back until the following year. Coincidentally it coincided with a parent-teacher conference that did not exactly make me look like a model student. My parents' response to this was simple yet effective: I was grounded until I passed the real test. Now, this meant no video games, TV, cell phone, hanging out with friends etc. Now the grounding itself really only lasted a year, but my parents said that I had become such a much more productive member of the family that even when I got my grades up I was still not allowed to play video games, or use a computer, or have a lock on my bedroom door until I moved out. So after I passed the stupid test, I actually did pretty good. I was allowed all my privileges back except no lock on your door. Now my father really wasn't keen on the whole no lock thing, but my mother was extremely strong-willed and my father didn't feel like being a soldier all day and then coming home just to go to war with my mother. They are now happily divorced and remarried and in wonderful loving relationships. I'm very happy for the both of them. But one day I was enjoying myself when I heard the front door of the house open. I freaked the hell out because I heard my dad drop his keys in the bowl and I knew he'd be coming straight to my room to chat. I really miss the days where we lived together and got to hang out so much. I jumped out of my desk chair, ran to the door and threw my entire weight against it as he was opening it. Now mind you, my computer is directly in front of my door and had he opened the door he would have seen the incredibly weird fetish porn I was looking at. He asked me to open the door and I just kept yelling, "Father, I am in a state of undress." I have no idea why the fuck my brain chose those words to come out because I have never called him father in my life. Nor do I speak like a weird Victorian-era child. After the second or third time I yelled it through the door, he walked away and I quickly dressed myself and yanked the power cord out of the back of the PC. Perhaps a slight overreaction. A moment later he knocked on my door and said, "Son, are you still in a state of undress?" Then laughed hysterically and cracked the door open enough to throw a doorknob /lock through the cracked door onto my bedside table and said, "For whenever you feel like being in a state of undress you might need this, my beloved child." He then laughed and walked away. I'm pretty sure I put that new doorknob on and cranked out like 4 loads over the course of the next 20 minutes. It was an amazing day. Holy crap, I really didn't think that this post would bring laughter to so many people. Thanks for all the upvotes.